All right, everybody, welcome back. This is the Grass is Greener podcast, episode number 2, where I will be talking about Top Gun Maverick. And I'm gonna let you all know up front that this will be a spoiler episode. I'm gonna be talking a lot about how it relates to the first Top Gun that came out back in 1986, and there's a lot of connections between the two. So I'd rather just talk about it without worrying about spoiling it for anybody. So if you haven't seen it somehow, if you have not seen this movie yet, then pause this episode and uh, go see this movie. I'd recommend watching the original one first if you haven't seen it in a little while at least, because of how many callbacks and references there are. It's good to have it fresh in your mind. So yeah, go ahead and pause it. Go see the movie. Come back and then you can hear my thoughts on it. I figure most people have probably seen it anyways because it's been out. I think 6, 7, 8 weeks, somewhere in that range. It's grossed well over $1 billion by now. So I figure most people have probably seen it by now, anyways. So let's go to the episode. We have Top Gun Maverick, directed by Joseph Kosinski, written by Aaron Kruger, Eric Warren Singer, Christopher McQuarrie, stars Tom Cruise, Miles Teller, Jennifer Connelly, and John Hamm. This is a movie I've been very, very excited about since I first heard it was being announced. Since I first heard that it was announced, mainly because of how much I love the original from 1986, directed by Tony Scott. This movie made me want to become a fighter pilot. I watched this movie again and again and again. I wore out the VHS player at my house as a kid, watching this movie just over and over. My dad was a pilot when I was a kid, so that added there was another factor that just made me love it so much. I just loved jets and fighters as a kid, so I just loved this movie. Super thrilled to hear that they were making Top Gun Maverick. And I was really excited when I saw who was involved in the project. Joseph Kosinski, the director, he has worked with Tom Cruise on Oblivion, which is a very good movie. He's also worked with Miles Teller and Jennifer Connelly on Only the Brave, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. Probably a top 10 movie for me. It's very, very well done. So it really felt like they were going to do this movie right and not just, try to play off the popularity of the first one. And it just didn't really seem like it was just a cash grab. And that is exactly that's exactly how it turned out. I absolutely loved this movie. You can tell that so much effort went into making it actually good and not just trying to make money off of it. But they made money, a lot of money. As I said, it's grossed over $1.1 billion. And it's just an incredible movie. I loved it from the very, very beginning when you get the title cards, which I believe are the exact same as the original one. As soon as the title cards pop up on the screen, and you got the aircraft carrier scene, you got the heat distortion, you got the pilots communicating with the ground crew. You see the jets taking off. It gave me chills. It gave me goosebumps, and right then I knew I was absolutely gonna love it, or it was just gonna fall off a cliff from there. Unfortunately, that did not happen because I literally loved every single second of this movie. It was absolutely incredible. Um, so one of the things that they also established very early is that Tom Cruise has not lost a step. Maverick hasn't lost a step. He's still the best of the best, which is why he got called back to train the new set of pilots. So one of the earlier scenes, when he gets his new set of pilots, they go out and have like a training practice dogfight, and he just totally schools all of them. And then he reinforces the fact that he's one of the best pilots is when, after Tom Iceman Kaczynski passes away in the movie, he steals the plane and completes the course by himself, which they're trying to. It's a simulated course for the mission. He completes it in record time and shows that he is still the best of the best, and sort of sticks it to John Hamm's character in the movie because he had just removed him after his friend and former rival Iceman had passed away, which is sort of disrespectful. So he clearly takes that very personal. And it was just really, speaking of Iceman, it was very, very heartwarming to see Val Kilmer come back for this movie. I really had no idea that Val Kilmer in real life had throat cancer, and it pretty much has destroyed his ability to speak. So I guessing that's sort of why he was communicating with Maverick via texting for most of it. And I think that they used other some audio technology to recreate his voice, because he almost just can't talk on his own. Um, which I after seeing this, I watched the Val Kilmer documentary on Prime, which it goes through sort of what Val Kilmer, his career and what he's been through recently, and kind of what he's doing now, which is very, very well done. So if you haven't seen that, this is like a side recommend. Go watch the Val Kilmer documentary. It's just called Val on Prime. It's very, very good, and I absolutely loved it. Um, so there are a lot of callbacks from the original movie. So you get a scene with Rooster, played by Miles Teller, Goose's son, playing Great Balls of Fire on the piano at the bar. And it's those kind of moments which really it's so nostalgic. It just gave me chills, and I absolutely just loved it. Of course, you had to get a tower flyby, or a buzz the tower sort of situation, like the original. You get one of those at the very end. Well, while they did a good job of calling back to the original, I think it's really easy that they could have overdone it with that, and they didn't overdo it. I felt that they had a good balance. They would So for example, they didn't recreate the beach volleyball scene, which that's kind of an iconic scene in the original, which they didn't have that, but they had something similar with the beach football scene when they're trying to it's a team bonding experience. I think it's what they called it. This is a great. I think it's been 36 years now that um, Maverick's been dealing with the guilt and regret of the accident that he had with Goose when he was his pilot. So that is obviously causes a lot of tension with Rooster. So because he sort of blames Maverick for his father's death, and he also blames him for his not getting into the Naval Academy. So that was you really get this sense of redemption for Maverick, and especially when Maverick chooses Rooster to be his wingman at the very end. And something else they did a very good job of is that it just wasn't real obvious where this was gonna go or how it was gonna turn out. I was just on the edge of my seat the whole time, mainly because of how awesome it is, but it just wasn't real obvious. Like, are we gonna have a situation where um like, is Maverick gonna pass away in this one? Is Goose's son Rooster? Is he also gonna pass away in this movie? I just wasn't really sure, and they held out to the very very last second, which at the very end it almost looked like both Rooster and Maverick were gonna die and they were gonna get shot down. Um, the When the enemy pilot launches his missile, it like leaves the plane and starts moving forward, headed towards Maverick and Rooster, and that's when Hangman comes in and shoots down the other fighter. Which I sort of saw that coming because Hangman was asking for authorization to leave and go provide backup, but he was being held back. So I was sort of thinking, like, you can't just show Hangman twice being declined uh, authorization to go provide assistance and then not have it come back around and have him not just come save the day. So I thought that was really good, and sort of a small thing which I really appreciated about this is how realistic it was with the amount of flares and ammo that everyone had. So I mean, we've all seen movies where you have some guy with a handgun, and it clearly will hold, like, I don't know, 10 round mag or something like that, and they'll just shoot off like 50 shots and won't even reload or anything. So this was very very clear about how many flares were left on the planes, how much ammo they had, and they eventually run out of flares and run out of ammo. So it was really realistic, and it just really shows you how much effort they went to make sure that this was actually a good movie. So that's that's just some of the things that really, it's like some of the small details that really added to how much I just loved this movie. So I was a little I was a little bit worried about it because of how popular the original was. I was concerned it was just going to be a cash grab, kind of like what they did with like the new Jurassic World movies. Those are clearly just playing off the original done by Steven Spielberg, and it's just a paycheck, and they can make mediocre movies and still get a big paycheck. And I'm just so relieved and so thankful that that was not the case with this one. This is gross, like I said, over 1.1 billion dollars by now, and they could have just made something mediocre, but they didn't do that. They made something that made a lot of money and also was just very, very good. So I'm gonna do final grade. I'm gonna give this an A plus. Currently my top movie of the year, and I would be absolutely shocked if anything knocked this off the top spot as of right now. Um, the closest thing is Batman, which is sitting at my number two, and it is not because that was bad or anything, but I really dug the Batman. But I just absolutely love this. I've almost just never seen anything like it. Absolutely incredible. The best theater experience that I've had. By far my best movie of the year. And this was, as far as my ranking system, I'll give this one an A plus. And my ranking system going forward will be the letter scale. So A plus being the highest, F being the worst. I wanted to include that in my intro, but these little random things I'll just include in the videos as we go. So, if you follow my personal Instagram, you'll see that I do point scale, like 0 to 10 rather, and it's sort of difficult to differentiate like what separates like a 9.5 from like a 9.7 or a 9.8. It's just too much. It there's too much I don't know, variability, I guess, in the rating. So there's not really. I think I rated it a 9.7 out of 10. I'm just sort of hesitant to give out 10s in anything really because I always feel like there's something that could be improved, but I don't see what I would have wanted different from this. So I just don't really like the it's too fine of a scale. That's what I'm trying to say. So um, we'll just stick with the A to F, maybe F minus. We'll go F minus for the exceptionally bad movies. So that's what, for the time being, that's what the ranking system will be. All right, so that will do it for episode 2. This is my last week was an intro episode. This is my first film that I'm reviewing. So let me know what you thought of this movie. Let me know what you thought of this episode. Make sure and smash that like button if you like the video. And if you did not like this video, smash the dislike button twice. And make sure and subscribe as well. You can follow me on Letterboxd. I'll put the Letterboxd link in the description. That's where I log all the movies that I watch. I rank them, I review them. You'll get on my lists in there. I've got some what do I got? Top 10, well, not just top 10, but I've got my yearly rankings. So I've got my top movies all ranked from 2021 is when I started doing this. And I've got my top movies. I have my top movies from 2022, and I've got some other random lists in there. Like I'm currently on a project to watch all the Best Picture winners. I think I've got like, I don't know, 35 of them. That's post Gone with the Wind, because you get any further than that, then it starts becoming like silent films, and I'm just not gonna do those right now. I think there's a list of the 30 for 30 documentaries on ESPN that I've got on there. So you can check all that out. You can comment on them, follow me, and it'll be fun. So I will be back sometime this week. I will be reviewing Thor: Love and Thunder, and then after that, it will be Where the Crawdads Sing, which will try to do like a joint book slash movie review of that one. And at the end of the month, we got Nope, new film by Jordan Peele coming out. So, all right, that's what I got. That's what I got on the schedule. So we'll hopefully talk to you guys next week. And thanks for watching. See ya.